Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. Wherever you are in the world, we're so happy to have you. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we currently have 29 live broadcasts each week. Our show today is The Power of Etiquette and Manners. And if you're joining us for the first time, you are in for a special treat. Our topic today is how afternoon tea can save the world. And this show is so much more than just what you may think etiquette and manners are. You might think it's how to hold your teacup and stick your finger out, and it's just for posh people. It's emotional intelligence, it's kindness, it's how we show up and treat each and every one of us. Let me welcome the star of our show, Mr. Philip Sykes. It's so wonderful to have him back. He is the principal of the British School of Excellence. Welcome, Mr. Philip Sykes. Hello.
Hello, and it's, as I always say, Friday. What a joy, what a pleasure. I'm sorry I've been absent for the last few shows, but I just so look forward to this opportunity to see you, Dr. JACALYN, and to engage with the amazing audience we have out there.
I am super excited as well, Philip. I've missed you, and I know you've been going through quite a journey yourself, so thank you for being here today. And we've got a full house backstage, by the way. StreamYard lets you have up to 10 people, and I think there are 10 of us. So tell us what's going on today, Philip.
Oh, my hat. I get goosebumps. I'm bursting with pride. I'm very emotional about this. This week, we started Train the Trainer on Monday, and I cannot believe it's already Friday. We have got an incredible group of dynamic, super experienced ladies from all over the world who joined us this week and have been on this journey on our Train the Trainer, our flagship program. These are amazing women who want to go out there and make a big difference in this world. They've already made a huge difference in this world to date, but they want to take it into so many other areas of other people's lives to give them confidence, to give them the tools to really make a difference, to move forward with their lives, their relationships, their job prospects, their job opportunities. And it really is. I mean, we really have got the most phenomenal women, ladies on the show today. Not only that, somehow the British School of Excellence attracts the most dynamic, phenomenal people. And I know you vouch for that, Dr. JACALYN, because you've had the privilege, as I have, to meet and work with so many of the students that have walked through our doors. And it just knocks me sideways in a very positive way. Every time our students engage with us, it is just, I learn so much, I gain so much knowledge and experience, and I shine with pride and joy.
Philip, so well said. I've shared this with you and also with our audience. Your guests that you bring, the people that you work with, have such high integrity, and many of them have actually taken the power of listening. They were anxious to learn, how can I get involved? So thank you so much for that.
Wonderful. The power of listening. Anyone out there listening to this show, put it on your bucket list and put it at the top of your bucket list, because as the ladies that we've been engaging with this week, they know how fastidious and how I drive I bang that drum about the power of listening. We listen with all our senses. We have to learn to listen to understand, not to respond.
Thank you so much for that, Philip. You know, a few weeks back, you did an incredible show about the history of tea. And that show was so well received. And I'm excited that we're actually expanding on that topic today. Tell us more about our guest, Jane, who's backstage, and how afternoon tea can save the world.
Well, firstly, we're bringing in an incredible personality. I mean, someone who just oozes energy and happiness and joy and passion. Jane has founded the English Cream Tea Company, which is based out on the west, well, I'm going to say the west, sort of more to the west of London, in the countryside. And Jane is absolutely fastidious, passionate, knowledgeable about the art of afternoon tea. And just in the last 45 minutes, Jane had the opportunity to connect and engage with all of us. And just the knowledge and the way she explains things is just fascinating. It really and truly is. And I can't wait to bring Jane on into the studio and give her the opportunity to really wow and woo and ooze this gorgeous energy and passion.
Absolutely. And you know, I purchased Jane's book, which I'm really excited to receive, and I'm following her on TikTok. I feel like a little kid, you know, what she has created, and we were just chatting backstage. If we could all just sit down with one another, have a cup of tea and have a conversation. Why can't we get the politicians? Why can't we get government agencies to sit down for some afternoon tea and just actually hear one another out? I think the world would be a much better place. But Philip, I think it's so important. Let's bring Jane out right now. Jane, welcome, the English Cream Tea Company queen. Woo!
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. Hello, everybody.
It is a pleasure to have you here with us today. And I love the fact that you're in red. I actually dressed for you today, by the way.
But also a bit of black, a little bit of black.
Well, you look fantastic. So,
thank you.
Jane, tell us when you realized how afternoon tea was really making a difference in your life and the lives of other people.
So before I began the afternoon tea company that I run, the English Cream Tea Company, it's 11 years ago, I was a coach helping people to get on better together, which included listening skills. It included dealing with bullies in offices and just people who were floundering in life. And that's what I was doing. But my hobby and interest has always been afternoon tea. And I met an elderly lady, and she said she loved the Savoy, she loved the Ritz, these London hotels, as do I, of course, if I ever get to go. But she said she could no longer have afternoon tea. I went, oh, no, don't say that. She went, no, I can't travel anymore. And it made her sad. And I just had this light bulb moment on my head, which was, if she can't travel to the marvelous afternoon teas, can they travel to her? And in a flurry, I set up a business that delivers afternoon tea hampers all over the UK. And very quickly, I began to realize that I hadn't entirely left my role of helping people get on better, because the boxes, these beautiful hampers of full afternoon tea, actually do exactly the same thing. You don't tend to eat it yourself. It's a sharing situation, and it's a hug in a box. I tell you, it's the nearest thing to sending out hugs. And I always wanted to be a fairy godmother, and I swear that's what I now do. So delivering these afternoon teas, they are vehicles for people to sit down and spend quality time together. And that's the essence of what I'm about. Making memories, allowing people to open up, to feel safe and comfortable. And even if it's not the whole kit and caboodle, if you can't have the whole sandwiches and cakes and all of that, and you can just do a cup of tea with someone, that I'll put the kettle on. You're telling them, I'm about to spend time with you. I'm about to give you a pause on what's going on around you, and let you know, I'm holding your hand in every sense, and let's get some special words going between us. And if I can help you, I will do that. The power of tea and afternoon tea as a tool to make people feel good. Let's not underestimate that for a second.
Jane, that is so brilliant what you said. I actually felt so safe just listening to you. I was like, I wish I could come over there and have the tea with you.
How beautifully put was that? I love it. I just think you've hit the nail so heavily on the head. It's just fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I stumbled onto TikTok only about 5.5 months ago, because I thought it was all for dancing and nothing to do with me. And somebody said, no, go on. And so I made this little video of my husband, who's a chef, making perfect finger sandwiches, cocktail sandwiches, you see. So I just filmed it. And I spoke over saying, and now he's doing this, now he's doing that. And so that's how I did it. I didn't know you were meant to do it to music. And anyway, I just stumbled on. Within a week, we had 5.8 million views on that one video, within a week. And then since then, I think we've had something like 284 million. Anyway, it's run away from us. But people are enjoying seeing us making cakes and bakes and so on. Afternoon tea, Jane, this is. But what they are mostly commenting on is what you've just touched on. They're feeling comforted and soothed and want me to adopt them. And can they come round and can I be their granny or their auntie? And I get it, because it's a pause and it's a, come on, everything's going to be all right. Put the kettle on, we'll get through this sort of sensation. And that's making my heart sing. Maybe 300 people have said I'm like Mrs. Doubtfire. And I don't think they mean hairy legs, and I don't think they mean a Scottish accent. But I think the way in the movie, if you've ever seen it, she creates such a homely atmosphere of safety for the children, and everything's just nice, you know, niceness. And I think it's that. But it's just reminding me, every time I get these comments, people are a little discombobulated in the world at the moment with the war, of course, and with inflation and the recession and the scary stuff there, and with COVID, and we've just lost Her Majesty the Queen, and there's all these things that have left everybody not quite secure and settled. And it emphasizes to me that the power of tea, or just biscuits or sandwiches or just something with people to make them feel safe and secure again, I think it's an absolute unsung hero. And my new theory is that in England, you have 999. I think in America, you might have 911 for emergency. And then you get to choose ambulance and police and so on. I think we need another one. Ambulance, no. Police, no. Cup of tea, yes. I think we need the fourth emergency service to be someone to come round and just say, come on, we've got this, we'll get through it. You sit down, I'm going to put a rug over your lap and I'm going to bring you a cup of tea and you tell me all about it. Do you think I'm insane?
No, I think you're spot on. No pun intended. I really think you're right. People are lonely. People are confused. They're lost. And anytime we open our mouth to say something, somebody wants to jump right in and say, well, blah, 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 whatever the case is. But to know that somebody is there for us, they're not going to judge us, they're not going to interrupt us, and we can have some fabulous tea. I think you should be running for office of the world, Jane.
Thank you. I truly believe this. I think there's an absolute need for these old-fashioned qualities, even if it's new-fashioned cakes, you know, modern ones, that's fine. But it's the whole art of spending time with someone. I happened to be up at 3 in the morning a while ago. Every now and then I have crazy nights. And I went on Facebook, and a friend of mine has just come in from her work. She actually works in a London casino. She came and she went, I've got to go to bed because I've got to get up in 5 hours, you know, but she said, I'm wired. I'm just can't settle. And I said, shall I pop round and make you a cuppa and tuck you into bed and read you a story? And she went, oh, I'd love that. But about 40 other people went, and me, and me, and me, and me. We all need a bit of cozy nurture. Adulting gets a bit much sometimes. And so if I could be that fairy godmother and was, you know, it's the different Father Christmas, I'm just the one that goes round with cakes and tea, no Christmas stockings, I would love to do that.
Doesn't sound like you're going to get very much sleep, Jane, because everyone wants you.
Oh, bless. I can nap. I can catch up and nap later, you know, sleep when we're dead.
Wonderful. Well, we're so happy to have you here. And Philip, we have some other people backstage as well. Tell us about what was taking place before the show today.
Certainly. And as I mentioned earlier, Train the Trainer, we have got an incredible group of ladies. We have Rosa, who is originally all the way from Lebanon, living here in the United Kingdom. We've got Dr. Shandana Sheikh, who's all the way in Lahore in Pakistan. We've got Maria all the way in Italy. We've got Antoinette, who is sitting in the island of Malta. We've got Margarita, who at the present moment is based in Austria, but that's not her home country. Her home country is Ukraine, and she's obviously out of Ukraine for obvious reasons. We have Ruchi, who's all the way over in India, and we've got who else have I missed out here? We've got Nina all the way over in Cyprus, who has been on this journey, and every single one of these amazing women have connected with one another it almost instantly. Leanne has done the most incredible job at bringing everyone together. But these ladies have got this vision and focus to go out there and take the tools and the knowledge that we've imparted with them, and we're going to support them on their journey to really go out there and literally give people these tools to be more confident, to be more sort of thorough in their connecting with the world, communication, leadership skills, emotional intelligence, and so forth.
Thank you so much, Philip. Without further ado, let's bring out the rest of our group today. Welcome, welcome.
Lots of lovely, amazing ladies.
Hello.
There we are, Nina. I'm glad you.
Hello. Nice to see you all.
Oh, beautiful.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hello, Dr. Jack.
Hi, nice to meet you all. It's a pleasure to have you here today. So who wants to share a little bit about what your experience has been like with Philip and Jane and the British School of Excellence? I know it's really empowering and exciting. Who wants to start? All right, Rosa. I was going to pick you, Rosa. You read my mind.
Thank you so much for having us today. Actually, at the beginning, I would like to say thank you so much for Philip and Leanne. I mean, with all the information, we had a really beautiful, beautiful week. But with all the information, I feel like I need to do a lot of work more to cope with everything they gave us. I would like to say the first thing I loved about the course is how honest they were. How, you know, they were sincere in giving all the information as much as they can. There's nothing to be hidden or nothing to like, you know, just keep aside, if I would say. I love the group. All of it is, I wasn't expecting, like, you know, from all around the world or every region having like really, and this is how we can build friends and network. It's really nice to be in the etiquette and manners. This is something that, you know, you can show people how to be confident, how to stand for themselves, build, especially I'd like to focus on youth, so it will make a huge difference, hopefully, by, you know, the help of Philip and Leanne. Later I can just start doing this.
You're on mute, Dr. JACALYN.
Sorry, I always put myself on mute. Thank you, Rosa. I appreciate that. Let's go over to Ruchi.
Hey, everyone. I would like to first of all thank the British School of Excellence, Leanne and Philip and everyone, and all the lovely ladies for such an incredible experience that I've had so far. And I want to especially talk about the topic for today, afternoon tea. This topic has been so close to my heart, even before I think I would have realized that. So I'll just take you back around 12 years. I used to work for a hotel in New Delhi called the Imperial, which is an iconic European style hotel. And I was heading sales and marketing for them. And one of my associates, you know, I was having a hard day at work, and she's like, you know, you so look like you're so petite. Why are you doing this job? And, you know, I just can't imagine you sitting in your garden once you're married with your kids on an iron furniture having an afternoon tea. So the way she described this was like, I must be 22, 23-year-old that time. She's like, you know, once you get married, I just imagine you doing that in the evenings. And I was like, oh, maybe, because I have always resonated with the fact, first of all, I'm extremely fascinated with the whole British culture. It's unfortunate that I've never been to the UK, but I just love the British culture and the royalty. So yeah, these things are super close to my heart. And now that I have learned the art of the afternoon tea and the manner etiquettes, I think it just takes me to the next level, you know. every time I think about this, not just now when I was doing the course, but even previously, I just think about my colleague, the way she picked it up at that time, that was spot on. I'm so much like that person who would love to sit in a garden with a nice, beautiful furniture, absolute lovely crockery, and having a nice cup of tea with my friends. I just love that.
Mute.
Sorry. Thank you so much. I always put myself on mute in between each thing. Rushi, thank you so much. That was lovely. Nina, I'm going to spotlight you as well. And if you can create a banner for yourself, that would be great. Thank you.
Yes, hello. Hello, everyone. And thank you for having us to your show. Well, what can I say? When I wanted to add this additional education, how can I say, to certified, so I can add to my programs what I'm teaching others. I was doing a very deep research and took me over a month. And I have interviewed more than 50 other schools, big and small, consultants and this. And British School of Excellence came absolutely on the top. When I had an interview with Liam, it was with my daughter. In the first few minutes, I have decided this is the one, the way how she was very warm and very nice. Usually British people are not to be cold, a little bit pulled back, reserved and everything. But we have received from Philip and everyone else such a warm welcome. The program was absolutely amazing, very informative. We know many things, but we learn on top of it so much more. Their guests are also the top notch, as I can say. So I can say this was one of my best investments that I have done lately in my how can I say, certification. I will use it very very much, and I'm planning to add this to my future career, to the to my island, where as far as I know, there is one more person, but it will be very happy for me that I can teach young professionals and other ladies to do that. So thank you very much, everyone. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a great testimonial. All right. Is it Shandana? I hope I said that right.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. JACALYN, for having me here. It's been a pleasure to really embark on this journey with the British School of Excellence. And every single day has been a learning curve for me. Like really, every segment has been so special and close to my heart. Like, all the speakers, all the experts that have come on have really taught me what's there to learn more about in this world. Like, we all live in our own bubble, and only when we get out of the bubble, we realize that there's so much to learn more. So the British School of Excellence has really given me that opportunity to enhance my learning. And as they all say that, leave the best for the last, today's session for of the afternoon tea has been really the cherry on top of the cake. Like, little things that you learn, like, how to hold your teacup and what to go in for first, whether you have to place your napkin on your lap or on your chair. Like, the little details that we never really focus on. They have been tremendous. And like, Jane Malyon has been amazing in teaching those, and she's been so friendly. But the best thing that I've liked about Jane and the overall program has been that it's very original. And it's not as if that, when you, it's only when you're doing the program or only when you're in the session, you become part of it. It's like you're becoming part of a family. So I particularly feel that I've become part of the British School of Excellence family, and they're really going to nurture this relationship and take me on with them. Like, it's not like with other sessions or trainings that you undertake that, you once the training ends, they leave you over there. I liked about the British School of Excellence and my journey with it. And I think each one of my colleagues who've been here on this journey They've been amazing. It's been an amazing experience with them. I've got to learn about their experiences and, like, you know, their life. And although it was for a very short time, but it has been amazing. Thank you so much to each one of you for making my experience valuable and a great one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate that. Let's go over to Antoinette.
Good afternoon from Malta. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be here with you. I have for a very long time been thinking of, or rather feeling the need that people need to stop. And afternoon tea has been on my heart for a very long time, as I'm saying. And recently, I have been searching in order to find the right place where I can have better learning, better understanding, because yes, I do know a lot about it, but there's so much more to learn. And coming to the British School of Excellence has showed me how much more we need to learn. And everything comes in its right perspective. So this has really been a blessing for me. And hopefully soon I will start on the project of opening a restaurant, which I would like to do in order to have people literally in the right environment for afternoon tea, where they can, maybe hopefully time will stop for at least that hour and a half, 2 hours, where they can really be together and forget the world outside and just relax. I have been to a few myself, which, yes, the experience is lovely. Some have in a different way. I have my own way of wanting to do it. So I do hope that soon I can do this. But thanks to Philip and to Leanne, it has been truly amazing. So much material, so much to study on and research, but so worthwhile. And I do look forward to even to give courses. Of course, I need to work on that. But my aim is that once I do that and I start and establish, hopefully, the course I would like to do, be it the elderly, be it younger people. I do have my thoughts on a property which I would like to get in order to start preparing for afternoon tea. So I want to really thank you for this opportunity to be here. And thanks for now. Hopefully we'll meet again. Thank you.
Thanks, Antoinette. I love how you're taking what you're learning and you're putting it into action right away. That is fabulous. Super. Okay, we're going to go over to Margarita, please.
Okay, hello everyone. Dr. JACALYN, thank you very much for having me and us here on the show. Wow, to be honest, I'm so impressed with information I have received during this week. Honestly speaking, I'm working as a personal stylist, and I was looking for the particular course that can help me to, let's say, to upgrade my knowledges in the sense of helping Ukrainian women, especially right now during this period of time, right, during the war, who had to flee the Ukraine and started their own life somewhere else in another country. So I saw that there is an opportunity to help them to boost the confidence, not only through the image, the look they have, but also like the confidence that could come with it. So helping them to socialize in new culture, to go through interviews, to settle down, etc. So to be honest, like, I would like to say thank you so much for the British School of Excellence, Philip and Leanne, for this such an incredible opportunity. And honestly speaking, like, when expectations, when reality exceed the expectations. So like, I'm just floated with information and I need to proceed it, but I am super, super happy for that opportunity and the network and these beautiful and amazing ladies that I have opportunity to meet. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. What a great community you've built, Philip and Leanne. It's wonderful. All right, and Maria, over to you.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. Hello, buon pomeriggio da Milano. And my name is Maria and I'm Italian, and I've always been interested personally in British culture. Let's say, I would like to thank you, Dr. JACALYN, for having us here, and really thank you for the British School of Excellence. And I would like to underline once again, but I guess if you have listened to my colleagues, you already know that this course has not been about superficial issues, as someone can imagine when thinking about etiquette and manners or something really old-fashioned. But it's about personal growth. We have seen very many issues in personal growth from every aspect. And what we will try to do is to, let's say, to create a personal resilience, create a way of being personally resilient in a way that can be old-fashioned, kind, smart, that can better underline our personality and our peculiarity without hiding it. So without hiding it. And I really would like to thank once again you all, the British School of Excellence, because the material has been really outstanding. Also my colleagues that are really good of good ideas and good purposes. So really wonderful experience.
Thank you very much. Wow, Philip, congratulations.
No, it's these incredible people that have absolutely the vision and the focus. And it gives me goosebumps to be able to, be in the shoes I'm in and to be able to do what we are able to do. It gives me, this is what I wake up for in the morning every single day. And it's, I'm going to burst into tears shortly. But honestly, ladies, you are just phenomenal. You've got such an incredible journey ahead of you. I can't wait to see how your journey unfolds, how things come to fruition. And as we always say, we'll be here to kick your rear ends when you have a down moment. You know, you're not going to get into a zone where, oh, how do I do this? You pick up that phone. We're going to be here to absolutely, wholeheartedly give you that support, hold your hands and make sure that whatever it is you're focusing on, we would love to see you achieve at the highest level.
Thank you, Philip. So I'm wondering, are we going to start the afternoon tea now?
Should we have an afternoon tea? Before Jane goes into afternoon tea, Jane, I have to throw a compliment to exactly what we're all about here. I've got a beautiful postcard that we print a couple of postcards and we give them out to the various people. And this particular postcard says, there are few hours in life more agreeable than the hour dedicated to the ceremony known as afternoon tea. And that was written by Henry James.
Ah.
Here we go.
Fantastic. Well, Jane, I'm going to spotlight you and tell us what we need to know about afternoon tea.
Right. Should we go into afternoon tea 101? So, of course, it's mostly about having a lovely time. Let's not get so bogged down in the etiquette that we're not enjoying it, because the etiquette is about consideration, and it's kind of nice to know the done way to do it, but don't worry about it, because really it's a vehicle to spend time with other people. Most people are at afternoon tea with others. It's fabulous. I've taken each of my 10 godchildren to London hotels one at a time, and it's an experience. So go for it. But if you'd like to know some of the guidelines, the rules, I'll run you through them. Whether you call this a scone or a scone, don't worry about it. Her Majesty did say scone. Lots of people say scone, that doesn't matter. But one of the no-no areas is how you open it up. So at afternoon tea, this will be one part of it, and you will have this opened. You don't eat it in its entirety, and you eat it with cream and jam. But the no-no is you don't cut it. It's not considered the best manners, whether you do that or whichever. No, you break it with your hands. It presupposes you've got clean paws and you pull the thing apart. In fact, I'm doing it now. Let's see, like that. And it just breaks open. And actually, I don't know if you can see, but you get this craggy surface, which is really nice with your cream and jam. If you had cut it, you get this sort of smoothed over tight surface, which isn't as nice. So the same with a bread roll. We're meant to use our hands. We are not meant to saw at them. But the cream and jam does go on with the knife. But the rule there is that if it's a communal dish of jam and cream, do you like my colour coding there? Can you guess which is which? The communal dishes, you don't take, let's say, some jam and put it directly onto your scone or scone. It's got to go via the side of the plate. So here's your plate. You're going to put your cream and your jam there. And from there, you will load up your scone however you like. Now, in England, we've got this thing. Cornwall, which is famous for cream tea, says jam first, cream on top. Devon, the next county, says, no, cream first, jam on top. So here are the two variations. See if you can see this. Look, can you see that? So the one with the cream on the top is Cornish style. The one with the jam on top is Devonshire style. Don't worry about it unless you're in Devon or Cornwall. If you're eating it the way they don't like, you might have to hide it. So some of the other aspects are about your cup of tea. And I think you know, it's not little finger out, which is such a shame. I do feel more elegant doing that, but we're not meant to. So little finger in. And if you're standing up, if you're at a reception, like a garden party, and you've got a cup of tea, hold both, the cup and the saucer. Left hand for the saucer, right hand for cup. And that's that. And if you're looking at someone and chatting, when you're actually in the process, but you're about to sip your tea, you break your eyes away and you look in. So the rule is to look into your cup, never over it. In fact, if you tried to look at them still while having your tea, you would get in a bit of a pickle. It's quite hard to drink tea while staring at someone. So there's all sorts of fun aspects like that, like start with the savoury food. If it's one of those 3-tiered cake stands, start with the savoury. And when you've left the savoury, you don't go back to it. So that will be sandwiches, but it could be other little treats as well. And if there are warm savouries like sausage rolls or Welsh rarebit, you know, posh cheese on it, start with that. Then the sandwiches. In hotels in London, you can get refills. Would you like more? Yes, please. More smoked salmon. That's fine. That's not rude. That's fine. But then you're going to go on to the sweet elements, which will be the scones or the cakes. Now, if the scones come up at that point and they are warm, don't wait. Dive into those, because a fresh, warmed from the oven scone is a treat. Go in with that. Sometimes they'll give you the cakes first and bring the scones after and have kept them warm and timed them. And then also some hotels will give you a doggy bag. Not everyone, but some will. And then you've got your little boasting bag to take home and to have snacks later or share with the people back at home. Those are all parts of the treats. Cucumber sandwiches, we were talking about this earlier. They are ubiquitous, they're everywhere. But originally in Victorian times, when afternoon tea began, cucumbers were the domain of the wealthy because they required hot houses, like a greenhouse with furnaces under, that people had to stoke through the night. And so a cucumber sandwich was really a sign that you were all that, you were wealthy. But the poor didn't eat cucumber. They weren't going to put their money into something expensive that didn't fill them up. They were on potatoes and meat that the wealthy could show off by saying, I have people that go without sleep, so I can offer you cucumber sandwiches. So that's another aspect. And then with your cups of tea, the rule is to offer others first. And if you are pouring tea for a few people, we're not supposed to go pour, 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 like we all do, and pass it out. And we're definitely not supposed to go pour. You're supposed to pour one, put the pot down, pass it to someone. So all it's got in at the moment is the tea alone. and then you pass the milk and the sugar, and they will add whatever they wish, because it might depend whether it's weak or strong tea as to how much milk they add. And we also touched earlier on a session of etiquette. The very posh way to stir your tea isn't round and round at all, which everybody's done always, but it is this straightforward. It's meant to be 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And that dates back to hard sugar from Victorian times. And doing that would send it on a kind of vortex. And so those being very much in the know, just gently do this. No wild movements. And we're not meant to go, which is very disappointing, because making noise is all the fun. And we're not meant to go afterwards. But mostly afternoon tea, apart from being kind of genteel, is about using the opportunity to really create memories and magic moments and pauses with lovely people. And I also advocate, if you feel able, to have the children along. Mine, I have 2 wild sons, very creative, grown up now, wild boys, but they somehow knew that in a nice hotel, that wasn't the place. And we dress up, and it would be an occasion. So you don't do this every day, you do it occasionally, but it's so lovely. And the children pick up over 1,000 words around the tea table if they're allowed to be there with the grown-ups, as opposed to reading a book to them. They'll only pick up 100 or 200. So I would bring the youngsters into this great tradition, which Nelson Mandela actually said was Britain's greatest export. Yes. Thank you.
I just learned so much. And Philip, I know that you are passionate about tea as well. I have to ask this, Jane. I asked this of Philip, but I just have to ask it again, because I love my red lipstick. Is it okay to put that lipstick right there on that cup?
Yes, you can't avoid it. You can't drink it through a straw. I actually have one that doesn't particularly come off, luckily, made by Boots number 7. It seals on. But yes, it's part of what a lady does. You're all dressed up. You've made the effort to look your loveliest. And so it will go. I mean, the hotels will be used to that. We run a tea room. It's set up actually at the moment. And yes, it's part of life. Same on your glasses. What else can you do? I don't think there's any other way of getting in there. Don't you feel guilty? I'd be delighted to offer you tea, and I'll wash your cup up after myself.
Thank you. Thank you. I wasn't aware that you should look into the cup, not over the cup.
Yes, that's a kind of rule. But try later on, because we do these things unconsciously, don't we? Now you're thinking, I don't know what I do when I drink. But try. It actually is very hard to sit and continue eye contact. It's sweet that you're wanting to continue eye contact because you're in rapport, and rapport is the currency of kindness, you know. But in fact, yes, it's just briefly in and then back to the person. That's fine.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Jane? Just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Just want to thank her for giving us a fabulous overview of afternoon tea. And I think coming from Pakistan, we were just discussing in our session the difference, how people call it. Some call it high tea and some call it afternoon tea. And I think in Pakistan, everybody calls it high tea. And the concept of tea has, just as Jane was putting it, more of between a lunch and a dinner. So having said that, like, you know, the concept that she's like, you know, it should be only, it's something different, that you only have basics like, you know, cucumber sandwiches and scones and a cup of tea. So that's really beautiful. But like, you know, the details that she touched upon, and of course, the book that she recommended, it's going to be a treat to go through it. Thank you so much, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you, Shandana.
Thank you so much. Jane and Philip, I have a question for you that was posed to me by Ian Pelham Turner, our team member and royal correspondent. He said to ask you, what is royalty? Royalty.
Okay. Philip, do you want to go first? I have my thoughts on this.
So there's a play on words here. What is royalty? As Jane quite rightly said, you get the English afternoon tea tradition, which is your lovely savoury sandwiches, your scones, and then the gorgeous little sweet delicacies at the top of the tea tier. A lot of organisations have dined out on the opportunity to sort of upsell champagne, bubbles, sparkling wine, Prosecco. So they either deem it as royal afternoon tea or luxury afternoon tea, or they come up with quite a few different names in order to sort of create a very sort of, I suppose, attractive element from a commercial point of view. That's my input on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's other aspects too, because it's kind of known what Her Majesty the Queen used to enjoy in terms of tea treats and the actual tea herself. And you could even attach that to the term royalty and spelt TEA as opposed to TY. And my understanding is, oh, somebody's just brought me a cup of tea. My understanding is that Her Majesty liked a combination of Earl Grey with English breakfast, something like a 60-40, 70-30 blend, with English breakfast being the predominant one and the floral taste being the minor one. So Fortnum & Mason sell a tea that they attribute to being the one used at the palace. And the other thing is she was known, bless her, because I am wearing a touch black here, she was known for her jam pennies. And if you don't know what they are, they're round sandwiches cut out with like a cutter with no crusts, small, filled with jam. So it's a sandwich, a jam sandwich. And we offer those in our tea room amongst the smoked salmon ones and the egg ones and whatever else you're going to get. But little round jam ones as a little sort of garnish. They go first every time. So Her Majesty was onto a thing or two there with her royal tastes.
Thank you, Jane. And I believe that there is a certain kind of cake that the Queen loves. It begins with a B. Hold on one second. One of our team members is here, Diane. Hi, Diane. She might know the answer to the type of cake. Congratulations to all the women and Phil for all their success. I love afternoon tea and enjoying being with friends. Well done. Texas enjoys afternoon tea. Thanks, Diane. Do you remember the name of the cake that Ian said that is part of the royal afternoon tea? It begins with a B. Philip, Jane,
Battenberg?
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite.
Explain that. Jane can the Battenberg cake. But just before Jane, the royalty, and actually, when we were growing up, that's exactly when tea was served. Literally, would come into the house at 4 o'clock on a tea tray, and it would be that blend of the English breakfast and Earl Grey, or it would be English breakfast and Lapsang Souchong.
Oh,
and
yes.
it was just such my fondest memories of growing up as a young boy. And those were the teas that we were sort of exposed to from a young age. And I just still to this day, just love it. But I'd love Jane to explain the Battenberg cake, because there's a lovely bit of history attached to this.
Well, a Battenberg cake is actually my least favorite. But what does that say about me? I'm clearly not very royal. It's an oblong cake, square. When you cut each slice, you get a square. It has marzipan around it. That's the bit I'm not so sure about. But it's made of 4 bars of sponge cake, sandwiched together with jam usually. And so you've ended up cutting up your sponge cakes and assembling this cube made with a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, and a quarter, if you can possibly understand that, wedged together, marzipan all around, and then you get a slice. So you've got 4 little different color sponge bits and so on. And very popular, very traditional, goes back in history, but not for me, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Philip or Jane, would you like to share with our audience about the differences between, we just heard Doctor talking about high tea and afternoon tea?
Yes.
Jane, go ahead, please.
That one. So it's become known as high tea all around the world. That's not really correct, but it's so prevalent now. Everywhere I go, America and Canada and Australia, for example, I've seen it called high tea. I've even seen it called that in London. It didn't start off as that. High tea started off as being more like the 6 o'clock evening meal that the working man would come home to. He'd have cutlery. It wouldn't be finger food. He'd have a high table, a normal table that you'd sit at, and he'd be eating meat and potatoes and something substantial. That was the high tea. And also it was a term used for the children's supper, which might be boiled eggs or baked beans on toast or something that you'd give them before they go for bath and bed. So high tea somehow has morphed into afternoon tea. There's even a phrase, low tea. It's referring to the size and the height of the table. But technically, if it is sandwiches, savoury food with cakes and scones or scones, cream and jam and a cuppa, that's afternoon tea, nothing else. And if it is just scones, cream jam and a cup of tea, it is a cream tea, not an afternoon tea. Oh, these pedantic things. However, will we get them all right?
So it doesn't actually correlate to the time of day. It sounds like it's more of a marketing.
It's just ended up being passed around the world. I don't know if I already mentioned Nelson Mandela says afternoon tea is Britain's greatest export. And I truly believe that, actually. It's the best from the best of us. But high tea has just morphed into the term for afternoon tea. It's so prevalent now. I've given in gracefully, and I shall ask for high tea wherever I am.
And I think where a lot of people look at high tea is because they see the tiered platters, so they think it's high tea, you know, and that's possibly where people really take that they've taken that sort of connotation and expression. It also sounds very grand, high tea, but as Jane rightly says, it was very much for the peasants leaving the fields to go home to their high table, dining room table. A formal big meal was set up, pot of tea. They would finish up and head down to the pub in typical tradition, as things would go. But as Jane's right, it used to be known as low tea, but as one looks at it today, it should be called English afternoon tea, or as Jane said, the cream tea if it's just the scone served with potted cream jam and served with a lovely pot of tea. And something Jane shared with the students today as well is the English afternoon tea also gives you the most wonderful opportunity to try various teas, because there are so many wonderful teas and tea blends out there that, and again, like food and wine pairing, there's absolutely teas that suit and complement certain dishes that are served during the afternoon tea journey or ceremony or whatever you want, however you want to deem it. So it really is a fascinating subject matter and topic and opportunity for people to really engage and learn a huge amount.
Yes.
Thank you. I have a question for you. We've spoken a lot about hot tea. What about iced tea? Is there any place for iced tea?
Not much. It is coming into Britain now. Only literally in this last year, I've seen it being marketed and on offer in our Starbucks coffee shops and things. It was never a thing. I doubt you would be offered it in the top hotels. I think you would be offered coffee or hot chocolate. You'd certainly be offered champagne, usually as an extra, but the emphasis is on hot tea. But I do get that iced tea is a thing. And I have been to Texas, one of your ladies mentioned that. And I think I might have had iced tea there, some sort of peach iced tea. Anyway, very nice. I'm sure it'll catch on, but it's not big yet.
All right. So it's not part of the tradition. It's outside of the box. Okay. Philip, are you going to add something?
Not at all. I know Ruchi was very keen to ask a question. So Ruchi, lift your camera ever so slightly, please. There we go.
Not really a question, but a thought. And thank you, Philip, for noticing that. I just want to compliment Jane on her lovely thought where, and it really touched my heart where she said that, you know, the world is running around and there's so much of things that are going on with whether it's the war or COVID or so many things. So she's like, people need to hold on. They need to be just sat and comforted. And I love that thought about afternoon tea where you can just cozy up, enjoy your tea, enjoy your scones, enjoy your cakes, and just have a nice, comfortable time before the end of the day. So good job on that thought process, Jane.
Thank you, my dear. Well, I also recommend, sounds ridiculous, but a tray. So it doesn't have to be a big tray, could be a little thing, could be scruffy, you can put a napkin over it. But if a guest comes round and you have a tray out with their cups or their mugs, doesn't have to be fancy, even just some bought biscuits, that tray gives a signal. It says, I'm about to put time aside to spend with you. It's just different from being on the hoof or slurping down something side by side. The tray says, we are going to sit down and I'm going to listen. So tell me all about it. What's going on for you? So I recommend a tray as a psychotherapy tool.
Thank you, Jane.
You're
I'm learning so much. We're almost at the end of our show. So if anybody wants to unmute their mics and share a last comment. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been a wonderful experience and opportunity. Jane, I'm going to spotlight you. What's the best way for people to reach out to you? I'm super excited to get your book, by the way. You have to come back on the Corner Bookstore so Diane Floyd-Beam and I can interview you. How does that sound?
That would be lovely. Thank you. Yes, my little book, Scone or Scone. Thank you. Yes, I'm easily available on the internet. I'm on social media. On TikTok, it's Afternoon Tea Jane. And then we show you how to make all these treats and so on. And I always reply to comments. And I've replied to maybe 300,000 so far on TikTok. So I'll keep going. But my email, I think, is available on there as well. So reach out if I can help you, because I'm here to be your godmother and help you in any way I can.
Thank you, Jane. And while I have you on Spotlight, your hampers are available for delivery where?
So we can do mainland UK. I'm afraid we used to do further, but Brexit rather got in the way of that. So mainland UK for our afternoon tea hampers, which are the best gift ever, and they get couriered, chilled. Of course they get chilled right to the door. And if you wanted to send someone a present, and it'll go with your gift message, which usually is a heartfelt something or other about their birthday, their anniversary. But we did get one recently, Dr. Jacqueline, and the message was, sorry about the carpet. We have no clue.
Thank you so much, Jane. Philip, I'm going to turn it over to you. What would you like to share with our audience?
I would just love to share a massive, again, a huge thank you to these incredible women, to Jane for coming on and making time. You know, as we all talked about how precious time is. And when we do make time, even if it is only 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to connect and engage, and on the cherry on the top would be that lovely cup of tea. It really is a true honor and a privilege to be able to do what we do as an organization, and to just engage with amazing people from all over the world. And I just pray and I hope that people get huge value, Dr. Jacqueline, from your incredible work from USA Global TV. You do something like 26 or 30 shows a week. You interview the most incredible people. You add so much value to people's lives, and you have put your whole corporate life on hold to really go out there and make a difference in this world. And just praise you for what you're doing, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Philip. That is so kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm hoping that our guests today, all of our guests, will come back and be interviewed on one of our shows. Just go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, book your session, and you'll see the 29 shows that we have. Find one that resonates with you, and then go ahead and get booked in so we can support your work and get to know you better.
Absolutely. And these ladies have been encouraged 100% by Leanne to really take the bull by the horns and really be present on this amazing show and on USA Global TV. So, and by the way, we all know it's broadcast in about 100,000 different channels. So it's such a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Philip. And thank you to Leanne. Leanne's not here right now, but she does so much to assist for this fabulous show, The Power of Etiquette and Manners. So we're going to sign off right now. We actually have a full day of broadcasting. Please stay where you are. I'll run over to the other studio to produce, but we look forward to, again, welcoming each and every one of you so we can get to know you and support your work. Jane, as I mentioned, super excited for everything I learned today. Can't wait to get that book in my hands and to have a virtual afternoon tea with you soon.
Lovely.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye for
Thank
now.
you very much.
Ladies,
Bye.
we'll see you ladies shortly. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.